Alrighty, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching from. A big welcome back once again for another race day with Elite Raceaways. Yeah, we are here tonight for our second race group, our Tier 2 group, who are stepping in for their first race of Season 7. Definitely looking forward to seeing this group. Um, we've got 15 drivers. Unfortunately, a couple of drivers not feeling well and some stuck at work, not able to attend. But anyway, still a good grid, and I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing enough battles uh, with even such a, not even a small group, but an average group. Um, but anyways, yes, we do have a strong mix of returning ERA veterans and a couple of actually brand new drivers debuting tonight. So we do want to give them a big welcome back, and those who are new, a big welcome for their first race here with us. And want to give a little bit of a shout out to those exact drivers. So, for example, we have Nobody's Outlaw, who is currently sitting in the pit lane, racing full time for the Alpine team. We also have Coco Wait, who is debuting as well. A full time driver for the Alpine is already out on a outlap. And we also have the V Carb driver of Niklaus. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly. But let's see. We also have Variable Zeus, who is reserving on his debut race with us. So honestly, yeah, big welcome to these guys. Hopefully they have fun, and hopefully we see them again for the rest of the season. And we have a couple of drivers who have been promoted to a full-time seat. So for example, this Red Panda 74 now racing full-time in the McLaren. So yeah, we have a really exciting season. If you haven't seen our announcement of the calendar, it is going to be an 8-track calendar. It is small, however, we do expect the new DLC to be coming out right before our the season ends. So we don't want that to interfere with our season. So yeah, anyways, looking forward to this race. We also have a couple drivers who are currently on a lap, so we'll take a look at who is actually about to be finishing there soon. I do see a Williams up there, and yep, that is the Williams of Hulkenbull, one of our ERA veterans who has been with us for quite a couple seasons. Uh, I know a couple of our newcomers, they are hopping into the environment of no traction control, so head down, and as we keep an eye on Hulkenbull, Hulkenbull is the perfect example. I always like to say this, I always like to give him a little bit of encouragement because he started off in the season a couple seasons ago, in this league a couple seasons ago, not having any much experience with the no traction control and has now become quite an expert in it. So he's up there in the top 10, I think, consistently following through with the battles. But Hulkenberg having crossed the line puts in a 130.0. We have Hafrenix who has just crossed the line for a provisional pole, a 129.8. And it looks like we have a couple drivers who are currently on a banker of a lap. So, oh Mama Shan, well, with the new season, I'm going to have to start pronouncing your name right. Oh Mama Smith, who is in the intermediates, looking to get some practice with those tires. Vroom, who is typically always doing this as well, starting with the mediums on the qualifying session, actually puts in a pretty good time, 130.8. So that's actually a really good time for Vroom, even on the medium tires. But we have a couple of drivers who are still having yet to put in a lap time. This Red Panda is about to cross the line. We'll be able to see what he's able to put in, and puts in a 129.4. So I did actually want to give a little spotlight to this Red Panda, who has been quite impressive in his races as a reserve last season. So I am expecting him to be battling up in the front, although I don't want to jinx him. And another one is also MGZ. So MGZ, who puts himself in fourth at 130.0. Some pretty good close times between all of our drivers. Let's see, we do have Honeyburger, who is finishing up here in Sector 3. I was taking a quick look at Tier 1, who fastest lap was made by Alex Carrago, had put in a pole lap time of a 126.8. So quite an impressive lap time considering we are 3 seconds down from that time here. And looks like Honeyburger crossing the line puts in a 130.8. But I do want to acknowledge that Buddha, YSL Buddha, who is a full-time Tier 2 driver, as well as a Tier 1 driver, who helps us to fill in the grid, considering we don't have a lot of drivers on the wait list. But Buddha, who put P16 on qualifying, put in a 128.5. So quite close, Red Panda, to that time. Am probably expecting drivers like Oh Mama Shan to be putting in probably 128s, but or high 128s along with Buddha. Let's see, we do have I do see we have a couple of drivers on the live chat as well. So Kyle and Mini Tony giving these two a big shout out. So both of them are Gnosis Division 1 drivers. And both of them actually uh, passed Tier 2 drivers as well. Well, let's see. We do have Hafnix, who looks to be trying to improve on his time. Is going to cross the line. Puts in a 129.1. Manages to get past Red Panda, who might actually be putting in another lap time. We'll take a look at him as he finishes up here in Sector 2. And as he closes in on this sector, we'll take a look at his delta. He does appear to be... May have done that a little bit too early. There we go. He is up by a second. Yeah, pretty much a second on his time. And ooh, as he does exit through that corner, he does lose the car. And unfortunately now missing his right end plate. So Red Panda, who was up on his time by a second, unfortunately going to have to go back into the pit lane, get that car fixed, and does have plenty of time, does have 10 minutes left into the qualifying session to go out for another lap, but we are seeing potential there for another pole position there. But yeah, as we mentioned, we are here for round 1 of season 7 here in Bahrain. And I've heard different opinions about this track. I did mention this in Tier 1. I honestly really like this track. It is a bit of a mix from long straights. We have a couple varied corner types, so a little bit of high speed, medium speed. Quite a number of heavy braking zones, especially this one here where variable Zeus in turn 10 goes through. And let's see, we do have Exist, who is now starting on his lap here, starting here in Sector 1, going into the heavy braking of turn 1. Has to have a really good exit there on turn 3 to get that exit speed, especially when you're tailing behind another driver in the race. You want to get the overtake done as well under the DRS. And heading into Sector 2, is actually up by 5/10 on his time. And so exists with the possibility to improve. He is about less than 6/10 behind of MGZ, so those 5/10 might help him out a little bit to gain a position. Has to be careful here to not lock up so much and have a really good exit. Oof, a little bit of a wiggle there on the exit, but we'll see if that was able to affect his time. Alrighty, so Exist, who is actually now up by 8/10 there. And so looking to improve. So Exist, who I think he was undermining himself a little bit there in the in the tier chat. I think he has a lot of potential for a really good season, considering he's picked up quite a bit of pace. Now look at that, 129.5. Oh Mama Smith gets past 128.6, putting in a provisional pole. As I mentioned, Buddha, who put in a 128.5, so that was kind of the benchmark of the tier 2 group. And I do see Kern Dog is actually interested in racing. So yes, Kern Dog, if you do, let me put you in. I'll send you an invite. And let me just respond back on the Discord chats in case in case you didn't see that. Alrighty, so it looks like we do have Kern Dog joining in, and if you don't know, Kern Dog is one of our Gnosis Division 2 drivers. So looking forward to seeing him debut here in Tier 2. He does race with Gnosis. So definitely an extra practice for him in preparation for his Wednesday race. And so it looks like we do have MGZ, who has improved on his lap as well by 4/10, putting himself there in the top 5. Let's see Honeyburger, who, as we switched on board to him, crosses the line, puts in a 129.0, so putting himself there in the front row right next to Oh Mama Smith. And we still have one driver who has yet to plan a lap time. That's Nobody's Outlaw. Although, as I mentioned, a couple of our drivers are new, so Nobody's Outlaw possibly just looking to get those laps in, not really stressing out in terms of the competition. Most likely, if he does pull out a last two top 5, definitely a driver of the day nominee. And it looks like we did have Kern Dog join in, so that is going to be 16 drivers with us today. Alrighty, but I was looking at the Discord chat just to make sure nobody's having any issues. Looking back onto the grid, we do have this Red Panda who was up by a second in a previous lap, now up by 6/10, and does put in a purple second sector. Can this be enough to gain enough time to get front row there on the grid? And so Red Panda is going to cross the line, actually steals away the pole position from Oh Mama Smith, puts in a 120.5. And why do I have a feeling this is the exact time that Buddha put in Tier 1? I'm going to take a quick look at it again. And it actually is a 128.566. So exact time as Buddha there in Tier 1. As I mentioned, Buddha, who's technically a Tier 2 driver, does fill in the grid for Tier 1 on Saturdays. And so, yeah, puts in the benchmark of the lap time to expect. And yeah, it looks like Red Panda putting in exactly that. And looks like we have a couple of drivers moving out the way for others, as Hafernix Angel, who appears to just have started his lap time right now. I believe we have Guardians, and we do have Guardians up ahead starting a lap as well. So take a quick look to see which drivers are able to improve. I do see we have Alex Cargo from Tier 1 and Novices Division 1 as well in the live chat, so big hello to you. I was actually expecting you to say you'd join in on the commentators booth, so... Ay, ay, ay. Well, also, I was expecting you to be taking a nap, so I wouldn't be surprised if you forgot. But no, Guardian's going a tad bit wide, a little bit deep there on the corner, but we'll see how much he's able to improve. Oof, looks like we have his yellow flags. That is Nikolaus, who is mowing the lawn. And so Guardians appears to actually be up on his time by 9/10. Has to be cautious here on these final corners. And that can actually put him in the 129s if he's able to keep it like that till the line. That can move him up quite a few positions, up to possibly P8. And so Guardians with a little bit of battery to use, and just right outside of 130.1. Does actually put himself up a couple positions, only up to 9th, but still a good top 10 for him right there at the moment. And so in terms of the constructors, so as I mentioned, this is a new season. This is round 1, so we are starting fresh, a clean slate for all these drivers in terms of the standings. In terms of teams, I will say I am quite excited to see the Mercedes team, Hafernix and Guardians. Hafernix who's in P4, Guardians in 9th. think these two have who have been quite consistent throughout a couple of seasons and even last season as well. So definitely looking forward to seeing what they're able to put in for the Mercedes team. But I also want to give a shout out to Vroom and Red Panda in the McLaren, who are also strong contenders and who I think consistently put points in as well. But we do have quite a number of teams who I'll expect to be seeing battling for the constructors title. Ferrari as well, Mama Smith and Niparazzo. So yeah, we'll be seeing how this season goes. But as I keep an eye on Vroom, he was up on his time. He does have the Alpine right ahead of him. Probably getting a little bit of a slipstream there, but that can possibly help him out. And so Vroom crossing the line on 129.0 puts himself up in the second row. And if it stays like this, we'll be right behind of his teammate Red Panda for the starting of the race. And looks like we do have Kerndijk who has joined in, has selected the Haas. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is he the Haas in Division 2? I could be wrong. It's hard keeping track of all four groups, I will say that. And no, actually, Kerndijk is the Mercedes in the Gnosis Division 2. But Kerndijk putting himself up into ninth with a 130.0. I do wonder if he's still using his no assist. But of course, it's only very limited assists that this group uses. So if you're watching for the first time, they only race with automatic gears, they race with corner line, and they race with anti-lock brakes. I had to remember that. So those three, everything else is off. Traction control is off. Pit assist and braking assist are off. So yeah, really nice to have these drivers step up to the challenge. A couple of drivers who already have experience on it and just looking to improve. We have seen quite a lot of improvement from many drivers, but as we look back, looks like Red Panda isn't going to have enough time to go in for another lap. So we'll stay on board with Mama Smith, and along with Honeyberg. Actually, no, it looks like Honeyberger has backed out of that lap, but Mama Smith, who is currently putting in a lap. And so only a tenth behind of Red Panda. And so Mama Smith, who's actually up by 5/10 there on the first sector. And so Red Panda, unfortunately, saying that he spun on his final outlap. So that is very unfortunate. But a head down, anything can happen in the race. It's just a matter of consistency. So as long as you're consistent, you should be fine. But see, Mama Smith, who was up there on his time in Sector 1, now finishing up here in Sector 2. And looking quite having the car on the rails. Has to be cautious here on these final corners. Actually up now by 4/10, almost still 5/10. And it looks like I was right. Nobody's Outlaw is going to choose to start from the back on his first race, and no problem with that. And Mama Smith stealing the pole position there, 127.9. And so that might actually just be our grid. Everybody else entering back into the pit lane. Everybody else, yeah, just sitting in the pits. And so it looks like Mama Smith also beating Buddha's time as well. As I mentioned, Buddha put in the same exact time as Red Panda. So yeah, really good lap time there for Mama Smith. And looks like we're just waiting on the V-carb of Honeyberger to get his car back into the garage. And there we go. That is going to be our starting grid. Let me actually get the race control up. Ooh, the pressure. Under pressure, I'm trying to find these notifications. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so on pole position, we have Mama Smith with a really good lap time in 127.9. in the front row, we also have Red Panda, Vroom in third, Honeyburger in fourth, MGZ in fifth, Hafernick sixth, Hulkenbro seventh, Exist eighth, Kerndog ninth, Iparazu 10th, Guardians 11th, Eingel 12th, Coco Way 13th, Niklaus 14th, and Variable Zeus 15th, and Nobody's Outlaw in 16th. So, whew, you could tell I'm a little bit rusty from the commentating. Jeez. Alrighty, so as a big reminder, to our drivers who are listening in case they didn't see the Discord chat, please do not ready up. We do like to give about 3 to 5 minutes for our drivers to prepare their setups or adjust anything in their setups and also adjust their race strategy. So, yeah, just please keep that in mind. Do not ready up. Um, I did hear from our Weatherman Guardians. It is going to be a dry race, which I'm not even surprised, considering we are in the middle of the desert. But yes, but in terms of the race strategy, so we did see a variety of strategy calls in Tier One. Looking back to that group, we had a couple of drivers start out on the mediums. Uh, Very few start out on the hard compounds, and we did have two drivers start on the soft side. Although from what I was told, Strixer had accidentally uh, put the soft tires, so so it looks like that wasn't his intended plan. But anyways, the one stomp definitely works out well in this on this track. We did see the mediums go up until lap 12, from what I saw. Earliest was probably lap 10. In terms of starting on the hard compounds, we did see drivers take those tires up to lap 17. So yeah, definitely curious to know what our drivers here are going to be able to do. Of course, anything could happen. We can have safety cars, although since it is only 16 drivers on the grid, I'm not really expecting safety cars, but I have been surprised. Uh, and also, as well as I mentioned, we do have a couple of drivers also learning the no traction control environment, so possibilities of mistakes happening here and there. But let's just take a quick look at the Discord chat. But I will say it's looking really good for the McLaren team, although we did see some tension in Tier 1 with the VCARB team. He exists already, telling me not to jinx him. Yeah, a couple. Yeah, some. He distracted me. Yeah, we did see some tension between the VCARB teammates in Tier One since they were very close on pace and they were pretty much racing against each other throughout the entirety of the group. So yeah, curious to know how the McLaren team here are going to be able to play it out. I don't think we have any other teammates close to each other, although Hafernicks and Guardians are probably the closest. It seems, yeah, looks like that is the case. But yes, exist. I'll try not to jinx anybody, but I can't keep any promises. We do like a little bit of drama, so as long as that drama doesn't turn into uh, insults on the chats, then we are good. Alrighty, but they do have the ready up. Let me take this out in case our drivers want to switch out their strategies. I know a couple of drivers they like to kind of play against their rivals and surprising their strategies there, but yeah, they will be having, if you're watching for the first time, they will be having formation lap on. So they will have that extra lap to go around and warm up those tires. And so we should be hearing the timer going down, and yes, we do. Alrighty, so let's get all this information up and looking at the tire strategy. So we have a couple of drivers who looks like the grand majority opting for the medium tires. We only have one driver on the hard compounds, that is Guardians, and sitting in 11th. And we have three drivers who have started on the soft tires, Kerndog, Coco Weight, and Variable Zeus. So these drivers most likely looking to get some overtakes done in the first couple of laps. Looks like we did have a disqualification between Hulkenbro and Exist. Not exactly sure what happened there. But yes, just a big reminder to my drivers, please be sensible on the first lap, especially on the first corner. Uh, as I mentioned, stewards are a lot more strict in terms of incidences that occur on the first corners. So yeah, just please be respectful on each other's racing space, give each other room, respect the room, uh, and please don't try going for it 3 wide, or or from what I've seen in the past, 4 wide. So, but that was far, far, far back in the earlier seasons. But yes. So quite interesting. The game, I think, offers the two-stop strategy, although, as I mentioned from what we saw in Tier 1, and I think even from what some of the drivers were saying on the Tier 2 chat, the one-stop works perfectly well as well. But we have the grid closing in on getting their cars prepared for the start. Unfortunately, Hulkenberg and Exist are going to have to deal with those cold tires for the start of the race. And so, Oh Mama Smith, looking at Room's positioning. So it looks like Oh Mama Smith slightly aimed towards the inside line into the turn one, although we'll see if he's going to be able to defend against Red Panda here. We do have, I do believe we have all the drivers lined up already. And so, yes, we do. So now we have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and off they go. Quite a quick lights out. And so Room, unfortunately, losing 2 positions there. Sorry, 1 position there. 1 to Honeyburger. And is he going to be able to defend against any other drivers? Looks like no. Room staying there in 4th. Haffernix moving up a position there. Let's put this up. I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be Hulkenbro, possibly due to those cold tires or even because of any contact. We won't say or we won't know. But it looks like we do have a couple of drivers already trying to get some overtakes done. So Exist attempting to get the overtake done on Haffernix. I saw a little bit of contact, but looks like no harm, no foul. And it looks like Honeyburger has actually gained another position. So Honeyburger getting past the 2 McLarens, moving himself up into 2nd. And it looks like we have a couple of movements happening in the back as well. Although it looks like the Haas of MGZ and Exist are battling it out as well. But for a second, throwing me off a little bit with the white car. So we do have the white Red Bull of Exist along with the white car of the white Haas of, of MGZ. But MGZ staying ahead of the Red Bull. So unfortunately, the Haas losing 1 position there to Haffernix, but still doing well to remain ahead in the top 10. I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be nobody's law in the Alpine. As I mentioned, we do have a couple of new drivers joining in and trying to learn the no traction control environment. So big respects to them. Head down. Just more practice and you'll get the hang of it. But looks like we do have a bit of a gap that has opened up between Haffernix and MGZ. So over 2 seconds now. And we do have DRS now enabled. A little bit of a lockup there for Haffernix, but looks like that's not going to lose him that much time ahead of MGZ. looks like we do have Eingel, who has managed to get the overtake done on Kern Dog, and looks like we have a couple battles happening in the mid pack as well. Oh, Niklaus almost losing the car, but a really good catch by him. Unfortunately, he's going to lose that position to Coco Weight. And I did see up in the front, Exist has actually managed to get past MGZ. So it looks like these two are going to be doing a little bit of a switch around throughout the race if it remains this close. And it does look like we have our first round of penalties. So Kerndog has now picked up a 3-second penalty there for multiple warnings. And I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be Variable Zeus in the Kick Sauber. They're in Sector 2. But looking up in the front, Red Panda with the DRS is going to get the overtake done on Honeyburger. And can Honeyburger defend that position? No, looks like, oh, and Jesus, Red Panda with a heck of a catch. Almost loses the car, and so he does lose back that position to Honeyburger. Does have a comfortable gap ahead of Hafernix over a second and a half. And looks like MGZ and Exist still going at it. So MGZ there on the outside, and I'd be quite cautious going side by side here into Sector 2. And as we saw, a little bit of contact, but it looks like no incident there. Giving me a little bit of a heart attack though. And it looks like up in the front, Oh Mama Smith has managed to keep Honeyburger out of the DRS, so over a second now. And oh yeah, I did see that is I think that was Niklaus who looked like he was gonna go straight into the wall. Somehow, I'm gonna have to ask him for his clip. I think he somehow managed to save that. Because I saw that V-carb go sideways, and so yeah, Niklaus keeping the car straight, keeping the car alive, has managed to climb up 3 positions there on his debut race. Coco Weight as well on his debut race, so yeah, really good driving from these two drivers. But it looks like up in the front, Honeyburger has managed to lose the position there to Red Panda, but Red Panda did have that little mistake last lap, and looks like he's going to be able to keep the car straight here and maintain his position ahead of Honeyburger. I did see Iparazu lag out, so I will send him a quick invite. Hopefully it's one of those things where he notices that he lagged out of the session, but I'll take a look at the Discord chat in case anything. But looking back onto the grid, I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be Kerndog losing 2 positions there to Eingel and Hulkenbrohl. But looking at the front, Red Panda looking to close that gap behind of Oh Mama Smith. So has managed to break out a little bit there, but and a little bit of a wiggle. And so that's going to cost him quite a bit of time. And looks like he is going to be under pressure here from Honeyburger now. So these two who have been going at it for the past 4 laps. And so it looks like a couple of drivers having a serious case of the wiggles, losing the car and having to try catching it. So Eingel having dropped down 2 positions there to Hulkenbrohl and Kerndog. Do have Exist right there on the back of MGZ. Not close enough to make the move yet, although he is going to have the second DRS here. Although it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough either, so it might just be hanging right on the back of the Haas here. And unfortunately, we do have the AI of Iparazu, who I don't think has come back from having gotten disconnected. Ooh, it looks like we do have Coco Weight, who has lost those 3 positions he has gained. like MGZ and Exist still going at it, still going side by side here in Sector 2. And can MGZ here defend on the inside? And looks like he is going to remain ahead, although Exist still tailing right on the back. I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be a Red Bull, and it might be Iparazu who... Actually, no, looks like that is Angel. But we still have the battle here between the Red Bull of Exist and MGZ, who almost loses the car. Jeez, I'm gonna have to make a video of all the times I've seen this already, and there's only been 6 laps. Jesus Christ. My goodness. And oh, I do see we have a McLaren, and that appears to be Red Panda, who has now gone into the gravel, now struggling to get that car straight. And I do wonder if he picked up any damage. I don't think he went into the wall. I think he just may have gone off track. And it looks like his car is still intact. However, now he does have Exist and MGZ right behind him. It looks like up in the back we have Holkenbro and Niklaus as well battling it out. So Niklaus actually up by 4 positions here. And it looks like Holkenbro looking to gain the position, trying to get the overtake done on Niklaus. And it looks like he is going to manage to stay ahead. I do see we have yellow flags, and that might actually be MGZ. So everybody just losing the car when I'm not looking as well. Unfortunately, MGZ, who was having quite the battle with Exist, now losing quite a number of positions there. Pretty sure he was in P6, now dropping down to P12. Looks like Iparazu has managed to come back into the race after having gotten disconnected. So yeah, very unfortunate for MGZ, who has lost quite a number of positions there. And my jeez. So it looks like a couple of drivers struggling a little bit to get the traction down on the exits. And so Omama-chan with a very comfortable gap now due to Red Panda's mistake. Now over 4 seconds ahead of Honeyburger. And it looks like we had Iparazu, who has also lost a couple positions there. MGZ having gone off track. And is Iparazu going to try going for a move on the inside? And does well to actually stop the car. And both of them going side by side, as I mentioned, a very tricky section of the track to go side by side. A little bit of contact there, but it looks like nothing too ill out of that. And so it looks like we have 2 close battles as Hafernix on the back of Honeyburger. And so Hafernix is going to have the DRS here, does have plenty of battery to use, although Honeyburger just as well to defend that position. They're trying to break the slipstream, and looks like Hafernix might be looking to make a move on the inside. No, is going to choose to remain right behind of the V-Carb. He is going to have another chance to attack here on the next upcoming DRS. And oof, as I say that, unfortunately takes a little bit too much curve. And now losing over 4 seconds behind of Honeyburger, and so that has cost him quite a lot of time. Now he does have Vroom less than a second behind of him. Let's see, we do have Hulkenberg right on the back of Kerndog. Kerndog, who is sitting with 7-lap-old soft tires. And so Hulkenberg looking to make the move on the inside. And looks like he is going to get the attack done. And I do see we have a Ferrari who has brought out yellow flags. I believe that is Iparazu. But as I say that, Kerndog as well picking up a 3-second penalty as he was looking for a move, or looking for the gap there around Hulkenberg. And so Kerndog there on the outside. He is going to have the DRS here. A little bit of a contact between the wheels there, but Kerndog struggling a tad bit trying to get that traction down. And I do think those soft tires are going to be wearing out on him. And he should be probably pitting soon from what I remember from Tier 1. Because those tires are most likely not feeling pretty. Jeez. And so it is unfortunate what happened to Red Panda, but I will say it is good in terms of constructor points. So both the McLarens there in the top five can secure quite a number of points there. And as I say, that variable Zeus picks up a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits, and I do believe that is there in turn 10. Might be. For a second, I thought he was getting out the way of the drivers, but it looks like he just trying to make sure he gets back onto the track safely. And I do hope he didn't pick up any damage there. We'll take a look if I'm able to be given the broadcast view, and it looks like I am, but I need binoculars to actually see what the heck happened to the car. And no, it looks like his car is still intact, but he is getting out the way, and we do respect that of the drivers lapping him. But yeah, in terms of the soft tires, looking at Tier 1, majority of the drivers looking to had actually pit in lap 8. So yeah, Current Dog and Coco Way most likely looking for that lap to switch over to another set of tires. Red Panda right on the back of his teammate Vroom. And looks like Vroom, who I will say is a very... I raced with Vroom for many years, even before ERA was created, so I have a lot of respect for him. And as I kind of expected, he gets out the way for Red Panda, knowing his teammate was going to have the DRS. So good sportsmanship from Vroom, as I expected. And looks like, as I mentioned, yeah, Kerndog and Coco Wait switching over to Kerndog to into another set of soft tires. And Coco Wait, curious to know, looks like he as well is going to be switching for another set of soft tires. So Coco Wait and Kerndog with the two-stop strategy. And so it looks like the closest gap we have is still between the two McLaren drivers. Although Red Panda appears to be pushing out Vroom a little bit there. Looks like now Vroom over a second behind of his teammate. And Red Panda on the chase for Hafrenix, who is 1.1 seconds ahead of him. And looks like Red Panda is actually going to be the first McLaren driver to pull the trigger, now switching over to another set of tires. So that's going to give Vroom a little bit of clean air. And looking at anybody else, looks like we don't have any other gaps closing in. We do have Hulkenbro, who has now switched over to a fresh set of hard compounds, tailing right behind the Ferrari of Iparazzo. Although it is going to take a couple of laps for those hard compounds to really kick in. Looks like Iparazzo is going to enter the pit lane and switch into another set of tires. And so Omama-chan, who has done well to maintain his pace, keeping it consistent, which, as I mentioned, consistency is going to make the difference. As we saw, Red Panda was right behind of Omama-chan. Unfortunately, those little mistakes are going to cost you, and so Mama Smith had to get used to saying, "Oh, Mama Smith." Keeping it consistent over 6, almost 7 seconds ahead of Honeyburger. And so looking at the penalties, we do have as I mentioned, a couple of drivers who do have those penalties. As I say that, we have another driver who joins in for the penalty party. So Angel and Coco wait with the 3 second penalty, Kern Dog with the 6 seconds, and we have Variable Zeus with the 10 seconds. And I do believe we have yellow flags. I might be. No, it looks like that was the Ferrari of Iparazzo there in Sector 1. But looks like Vroom has now pit, and I do believe Hafrenix, yes, Hafrenix did pit as well. So Exist and Guardians getting the overtakes done there due to the pit stops. And oh yeah, I ain't gonna pick up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that is going to be quite painful, unfortunately. Um, and actually switching over to a set of soft tires, so Angel as well with the two-stop strategy, because those softs aren't going to make it to the end. But looks like we still have a battle here between Kern Dog and Hulkenbro. Hulkenbro there on the inside manages to get the overtake done on Kern Dog. And really nice view from EA to give us the helicopter view. This is the view I always expect when I switch into the broadcast, but unfortunately sometimes I get given the wall camera. And so it looks like we do have in the front row Honeyburger now entering the pit lane. I do see we have yellow flags, and it appears to be Coco Wait, who once again onto the gravel and trying to get that car back onto the track. So very unfortunate for Coco Wait, who started off gaining quite a number of positions there. I do believe he gained 3 or 4 positions. Unfortunately, has lost out a little bit, but I will say he's doing well to keep it consistent in not retiring the car. And I do think we have that is the V-carb of Honeyburger, who I believe brought out the yellow flags and coming out of the pit lane with the fresh set of hard compounds, those cold tires. Most likely struggling there on the first corners of the lap. And so Honeyburger now losing positions and comes out over 2.5 seconds behind a Vroom. And so it looks like our closest battle remains between Kurndog and Hulkenbro. And we do have Old Mama Smith, who has now entered the pit lane as well. And Hulkenbro struggling to get the car straight and is going to go into the barrier, and hopefully he didn't. Oh, actually no, it looks like he did pick up damage. Is missing his right end plate, sorry, left end plate, I believe. And if I can get the broadcast view, I'm clicking it, not doing anything. There we go. And he is missing his left end plate. So yeah, very unfortunate there for Hulkenbro. I do wonder what exactly happened. I believe it started when he entered turn 10. And so Hulkenbro most likely going to be entering the pit lane. So very unfortunate for him, who is coming back from last season as a Constructors champion. Him and Buddha in the Williams. So yeah, very unfortunate for him. But looking up in the front, we do have Oh Mama Smith with the fresh set of hard compounds, Guardians 3-lap-old hards as well. Trying to take those tires a bit longer compared to the others. I think he is, actually, yeah, everybody else has pit. Looks like Oh Mama Shang looking to make the move there on the inside, gets the pass done easily. And so yeah, I will say Oh Mama Smith, definitely a contender for the Drivers' Championship, I believe. Unfortunately, we do have Gigglegoon, aka Booty Cam Slide, who had to back out for the season. So yeah, I think he definitely would have given Sean a little bit of a challenge, but yeah, win is a win. And so nicely done from Omar Smith to keep it consistent throughout the race. We do have Red Panda now tailing very close to the back of Guardians now. And so we are on lap 15 out of 29, and I do see we have another yellow flags. I believe that is the Perazu, and that is the Perazu there. Looks to have lost the car there on the exit of turn 10. And so Red Panda with a bit of traffic trying to get past of Guardians who has yet to pit, and he is going to get the overtake done. And so Guardians is now going to have his teammate Hafernix right behind as well. So Hafernix, who's about 2 seconds behind of Guardians. I do wonder if Guardians is going to try taking these hard compounds a little bit further, or if he's going to pit now into this lap. Although I did mention, I believe the hard compounds, we saw drivers take them to lap 17. So lap 16 or lap 17, one of those two. So I wouldn't be surprised if Guardians tries to stay out a little bit further. And looks like he is. He does have Hafernix now 1.2 seconds behind of him. And once we see Guardians pit, I do want to take a look at the position changes afterwards. But I am keeping an eye here on Hafernix, who isn't going to have the DRS yet off of his teammate. So Hafernix is getting held back a little bit there, but is being patient, is being cautious, considering the driver ahead of him does have those old tires. So in terms of braking as well, you don't want to be too close. Oh, and Hafernix almost losing the car there. Jeez. And I do believe Guardians was going wide to allow him the pass. Jesus, all these drivers. They don't like to keep the car straight. And it looks like Hafernix is going to get the overtake done on his teammate. So yeah, Guardian's not really putting up much of a fight, considering he does know he has those older tires. I do see we have a couple of overtakes happening in the back as well. So it looks like nobody's outlaw entering the pit lane. Getting rid of those medium tires, and so onto a fresh set of hard compounds. And actually, it looks like we're going to be having Guardians entering the pit lane now. So, for a second I thought that pop-up was going to be a 10-second penalty for Guardians. Actually, no. It was variable picking up a 3-second penalty there. So, geez, that happened right as he was entering the pit lane. My goodness. But once he comes out of the pit, we'll look at exactly how much of a position gain a few of our drivers have had. And it looks like Guardians is going to be coming out right ahead of Hulkenbro. And so looking at the position changes, so we do have our top two, Omama Smith and Red Panda, who have managed to maintain their position. Red Panda, I'll give him lots of respects, considering he did lose the car and he did manage to get back up there into second. In third, we have Hafernix, who has actually climbed up 3 positions, so really good climb for him. Exist 2 positions, Guardians up 3 positions, so both the Mercedes driver doing really well there. But we do have Red Panda, who is right on the back of Old Mama Smith, does have a 3-lap older tires. Ooh, and looks like Angel has left, so I'll try to send him an invite. I don't think anything's gonna happen now, so let me see if I can get him back into the session. unless his whole PC has turned off. Was the first one. How did I miss him? Oh yeah, I do see we have another yellow flags. That is once again a Parazu there in Sector 1. I will say lots of the drivers have kept their head down. We have seen quite a number of spins, quite a number of incidences, uh, trying to keep the car straight. But yeah, these drivers really trying to keep their head down and uh, just try scoring points. It is the first race of the season, so you don't know if these points today are going to matter later on in the season. So yeah, definitely just a lot of resilience from them. And I do want to say Hulkenberg didn't pit, so he's actually driving, if I'm not mistaken, with that missing left end plate, and definitely going to be feeling it there in sector 1 there on the S's. Yeah, he's going a little bit deep there, but still has a good gap ahead of Kern Dog over 6 seconds, so it is going to help him there to gain some of those points. And I did see Kern Dog pick up another 3 seconds, so that's 9 seconds in total for Kern Dog. Hopefully we don't see that in Noah's Division 2 on Wednesday. Kern Dog. Although this does really work for a practice round. But we do have 11 laps remaining, including this one. Closest battle we have at the moment is Red Panda, right on the back of Omama Smith. And I did see we had another yellow flag. That appears to be well, it looks like it was Variable Zeus. And Coco Wade joining even more the penalty party. So Coco Wade with another 3 seconds. That's 6 seconds in total for him. It doesn't look like any of these penalties are going to affect our drivers in terms of the race results. Considering the majority of them have quite the gap ahead of the driver behind them. And so Red Panda still within the DRS of Omama Smith, and actually does cross the line to get the fastest lap of 132.5. And if you're watching for the first time and you're unaware, that is an extra 2 points for those drivers who finished in the top 10 with the fastest lap. And so Red Panda with the DRS and does have the battery to use. And is he going to make a move here on the inside? Is going to remain right alongside. A little bit of contact right there. It looks like no harm, no foul. Head down, and I do believe we have a couple of position changes happening in the mid-pack as well. So Guardian's getting the move done on MGZ. And Exist picking up a 3-second penalty, so he does have all our drivers with the penalties are sitting comfortable. Exist with 3 seconds does have a 9-second gap ahead of Guardians, although Niklaus is behind Eingel, who does have that 6-second penalty. Variable Zeus picking up another 10-second penalty there for speeding in the pit lane. So that's 23 seconds in total for him. So it looks like we do have these two battles going on at the moment. Red Panda does have, unfortunately, Omama Smith, who is right behind of Eingel, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm not mistaken, he is going to have the DRS here on this next upcoming straight. And yep, Omama Smith is going to have that DRS. And unfortunately, Red Panda with not enough battery to use to get any closer to the Ferrari up ahead. And actually, I don't think Eingel was able to join back into the session. So let me see if I can... Looking at Niklaus, Eingel is ghosted. So yeah, I don't think he has joined back into the session to take control of the car. looks like we do have. Looks like Hulkenbro is entering the pit lane. I was wondering why he was losing those positions there, but yeah, Niklaus does have the DRS now on Eingel, on the ghosted car of Eingel, so he is going to be able to get that move done. So Niklaus now moving up into 11th, almost losing the car there, but keeps the car straight. Jeez. And so up ahead, Red Panda, now less than a second behind of Oh Mama Smith, has to make sure he gets a good exit here on this corner. So he is going to have the DRS. He does have a little bit of battery to use here, and Oh Mama Smith using his battery to defend that position. And looks like Red Panda not close enough to get any attack done. There is plenty of laps remaining for this race. So Oh Mama Smith, who does have 3-lap younger tires compared to Red Panda there. So both the McLaren drivers in a battle of their own. So Honeyberger right on the tail of Vroom. Does have the DRS. Looks like Honeyberger isn't going to be close enough either to get an attack done. But Haffernick's now picking up a 3-second penalty, and that is Honeyberger who loses the car. Does well to keep the car away from the barrier, but unfortunately is going to lose that time behind of the McLaren. So Vroom now over 4 seconds ahead of Honeyberger, and looking to possibly secure a top 4 finish here. And so Red Panda once again right on the back of Oh Mama Smith, almost. Jeez. My goodness, all these drivers giving me a heart attack on their exits. Oh my god. And unfortunately, yeah, Red Panda still not close enough to get the overtake done, but is doing well to keep it within the DRS behind of the Ferrari. And so it looks like this is going to be our main battle until the end. We do have Eingel who is unfortunately ghosted, that did get disconnected. I don't even know if he's aware that he got disconnected, so hopefully he did get those invites. I will send him another invite just in case he didn't. There we go. But we did have MGZ, who has now entered the pit, is now exiting the pit, switching over to a fresh set of mediums. We had two drivers who opted for the two-stop, and that was MGZ and Niklaus. And Hulkenbro, unfortunately, with the wing damage, having to pit again. But up ahead, Red Panda with a much better exit there. Right behind Oh Mama Smith is going to have the battery, does have the DRS. And looks like he is going to try attempting the move on the inside. Can he make the move stick? But Oh Mama Smith not giving it up. Remaining right. That's a little bit of contact between the two wheels, but Oh Mama Smith is going to remain ahead. So I will say most likely those 3-lap younger tires for Oh Mama Smith, giving him a little bit more grip than Red Panda does have. And I do see we have yellow flags. That looks to be Variable Zeus there in turn 1. And so with the majority of our drivers pitting, just taking a quick look once again of our position changes. So it looks like our highest position change is Guardians, up 4 positions. MGZ, who has actually lost out the most, lost out 4 positions there, having moved down to 9th. And looking back onto the front of the grid, Red Panda not close enough to get the overtake done, and so is going to remain behind of Mama Smith. We have 5 laps remaining, including this one. Actually, 4 laps remaining, including this one. My math. Actually, looks like we have one gap closing in right here on the back. Nobody's outlaw right on the back of Iparazu. Actually, looks like MGZ has managed to pick up the fastest lap of 131.3. So that's going to be a possible 2 extra points there for the Haas driver. Ooh, and looks like Red Panda struggling a little bit with those tires, especially on the exits once again. And so Red Panda now does have still the DRS right behind of Mama Smith, but nothing can happen yet. But looking at the back, nobody's outlaw, who has been on the back of Iparazu. So both of the Ferraris on the battle. Iparazu remaining ahead of the Alpine. Does have 1 lap younger tire compared to Nobody's Outlaw, but Nobody's Outlaw is going to have the DRS and is going to have quite a bit of battery there to use to try going for that attack, but looks like he's not going to be close enough. Although very, very close to the back of... Jesus Christ. Very close to the back of the Ferrari there. Oh my god. Oh boy, everybody likes to give me a heart attack, jeez. Actually, looks like up in the front, Mama Smith has now managed to push out Red Panda from the DRS. So Red Panda just hanging on by a thread there, and looks like it's not going to be enough. So those 3 lap younger tires from Mama Smith definitely working out for him there. Up in the back, we still have Outlaw right on the back of Iparazu. And so looking at the penalty, so 3 drivers with the 3 seconds, Haffernix, Honeyberger, and Exist. Looks like none of those drivers are going to be impacted from their penalties. Kern Dog, however, does have that 9-second penalty, and MGZ is within that 9-second penalty gap behind Kern Dog. Although just by a thread, so yeah, has to make sure he keeps it consistent here for the final laps and not lose time behind of his teammate here for today. Kern Dog, as I mentioned, is reserving in the Haas. And we also have Eingel with these 6 seconds, but does have an 18-second lead ahead of Iparazu. And it looks like Outlaw has dropped back there from the Ferrari. Going a tad bit deep there, and so it looks like he has been pushed out, and so over a second and a half now behind of Iparazu. Oh yeah, Red Panda almost losing the car there as I switched over to him, and luckily it does have a comfortable gap ahead of Haffernix. And I did see we had, I believe that is a V-car, that might be the V-car from Niklaus, who has brought out the yellow flags. Actually, keeping it respectful as well, letting the I believe that is Vroom. Yeah, letting Vroom past him. Which, as I mentioned, even if the cars are ghosted, we do appreciate our drivers making way, considering you don't know if the driver races in cockpit view. So I know when I did used to race in cockpit view, how annoying that could be to see a ghosted car. So yeah, we do appreciate all our drivers being aware. But looking up in the back, Outlaw has actually managed to close in once again on the back of Iparazu. We are currently now on the penultimate lap. And so Old Mama Smith with a comfortable gap of over 6.5 seconds ahead of Red Panda. Red Panda who lost quite a bit of time there due to that little mistake. But I will say, if I'm not mistaken, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Red Panda, later on, I do believe this would be your first podium in Tier 2. I probably shouldn't have said that because I don't want to jinx you in this final lap. Uh, Ooh, it looks like we do have... It looks like that is Coco Weight onto the gravel. Taking the DRS sign with him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Red Panda has not had a podium, or did not have a podium last season, but I could be wrong. But looks like nobody's Outlaw looking to get the attack done on Iparazu. Unfortunately, I did see another 3-second penalty come out, and I believe that was for Coco Weight. So Coco Weight with a 9-second penalty. Outlaw does have the DRS, but does not have any battery to use there to get the overtake done on Iparazu. Actually gets out the way for, looks like that is the Mercedes of... Actually, no, it looks like that was the Mercedes of Guardians lapping him. Jesus. All these drivers, every time I switch onto their camera view, they almost lose the car on me. My gosh. And I do see we have somebody cheering on as well for Exist on the live chat. So yeah, Exist doing a really good job. Here currently sitting in 6th. We do have Mama Shan crossing the line, gets the win. Hulkenbrawl gets the fastest lap at 131.3. We do have, that was out of nowhere, Red Panda going to cross the line, gets 2nd. Hafnix, even with the 3-second penalty, is going to secure a podium finish. It's a really good job done by our top 3 drivers there. And I will say, really incredible job for the McLaren team. That is some really good points for those two. And looks like we saw a couple of position changes happening, but I'm not exactly sure what that was. But MGZ is within that 9-second penalty gap of Kern Dog. Oh, that actually might be because of the lapped drivers. And so yeah, MGZ finishing up there in 8th, getting the overtake done on Kern Dog, who was reserving for today. We do appreciate him joining in and filling up the grid. Hopefully we see him even more so for the rest of the season. And now we're just waiting for Coco Wade. So yeah, really good pace from Mama Smith. Honestly, not surprised. As I mentioned, I do expect them to be a contender for the battle for the championship. Red Panda just there. Just those little mistakes did cost him. But yeah, really good performance from our top 3 podium runners there. And Vroom, I do appreciate you saying great comms. I'm a little bit rusty since I did take that break seriously, so I wasn't prepared mentally. Still on vacation mode. But yeah, going through the final grid. So we have Oh Mama Smith for the win. Really good job by him. Red Panda, as I mentioned, I do believe this is his first podium in Tier 2. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. If not, you could just correct me afterwards. That is totally fine. If not, I'm just talking out of my butt. Hafernix in third. It's been a while since we've seen Hafernix on the podium, so honestly, really good job from him. I do believe he's up there in contending for the championship as well. He is a consistent driver, um, or Messi on the track, as I also like to call Mini Tony, our Argentinian friends. From P4, we have Vroom in fourth. We have Honeyburger in fifth. Exist 6, Guardian 7, MGZ 8th, Kern Dog ninth, Hulkenbro 10th, Eingold 11th, Niklaus 12th, Nobody's Outlaw 13, Iparaza 14, Coco Way 15. Uh, who did I stop? Coco Way 15, and I think that was Variable Zeus in 16. Yes, that was. I had to make sure I had to take a quick look at our application there. And so, yeah, incredible job, Hulkenbro, with the extra 2 points for the fastest lap. So, really good job by him stealing that away for the at the final lap, or final 2 laps there. Really good job by him. Um, and also, we want to give a big congratulations to our newcomers who joined in for their first race or their first debut race with us here. And honestly, big congratulations. Yeah, honestly, it's not an easy feat learning the no traction control. So we do respect you guys for keeping your head down and just taking the car all the way to the end of the race. Um, don't get discouraged. We have seen plenty of improvements from our drivers throughout races and throughout seasons. So yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys are able to bring out for the rest of the season. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it personally as well. Uh, but yeah, we'll be seeing these guys back next week in Texas for round two. As I mentioned again, that is round 2 out of 8. Um, but before that, we also do have our Noasis Division 1 group in about an hour and 5 minutes. Our Noasis Division 1, that is no assist at all. Uh, so all these drivers just counting on their own control and their own knowledge of the track. So we're definitely looking forward to that group. I love to see that race, to see those races. And then after that, we have our Gnosis Division 2 group on Wednesday. So, yeah, really good start for the McLaren team. And a really good start for a majority of these drivers. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. Um, and so, yeah, we'll see everybody on the next race. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe. Uh, give our videos a little bit of a thumbs up. Please give us a little bit of appreciation for our commentary. We're not professionals, but we do our best. And sometimes I get distracted and I forget what I'm saying. Um, and also subscribe so you could get the notifications when we're live. So, yeah, big thanks to all our viewers, big thanks to all of our drivers, and we'll catch you guys on the next race.